Good morning, everyone. Very good morning. Shall we begin the session? Today's topic is functions and the procedures. In the last class, we have finished with the advanced SQL. One of the topic is embedded SQL. That is the last topic we have covered in the Friday's class. Yeah, we have discussed about the DML, DDL, what is the difference among them, what are the various commands, what are the various queries that is executed in the DML, what are the various commands that is executed in the DDL. Today's topic is what are the various functions and the procedure that is used, or how we are using the functions, how we are using the procedures in SQL. Yeah, we already seen some functions also that I agree that may be a concat function, that may be a string function, that may be a datetime function, but these functions are the elaborate of that functions only. Yeah, logic is same, but there is a new syntax, there is a new, yes, right. So, okay. So let's begin with the procedure and the functions. So first of all, let's take some introduction about the procedure and the function. So these functions and the procedures allows the business logic to be stored in the database and executed from the SQL statement. For example, when you say about the universities, you usually have many rules about how many courses a student can take in a given semester. The minimum number of courses a full-time instructor must teach in a year, and the maximum number of majors a student can be enrolled in, and so on. And while such business logic can be encoded as a programming language, procedures stored entirely outside the database that defines them as a stored database or the stored procedures in the database that have multiple applications that have multiple advantages. For example, when you say about the multiple application to access a procedure, it allows a single point of change in case of the business rule change without changing other parts of the application. So whenever we change the procedure, whenever we allow a single point of change, so that will impact that application. So just listen. That will impact only that application without changing the other parts of of the application. And the application code can then use the stored procedure instead of directly updating the database relations. And SQL also allows the definitions of the procedure, functions, and the methods that may be a procedure components of the SQL, that may be external programming languages such as Java, C, C++. But although the syntax will be changed, will be different with the functions, with the procedures. That may be a language that may be supported by the Oracle, PL, SQL, that differs from the standard syntax that we present. For example, this is one of the syntax, this is one of the example of the syntax, how the function will be defined. So first of all, these are the two keywords that is given. Look over here. One is a create, one is a function. Why? Yeah, these are in the bold, and these are the keyword. That means we have to write this one. Each and every user. That may be me, that may be you, anyone. Yes. Then department count. That is a DEPT underscore count. This is the name of the function. That varies from user to user. For example, you take a different name, I take different name. So this depends on the user to user. So department count. Then in parenthesis there is a variable name and the data type. Variable name is department name. This can be any. Yeah, it also differs. Then there is a varchar. This is same, but it's up to you. Either you use a char, either you use a varchar. So this is varchar, and the figure is given, value is given for varchar, that is a 20. Then returns integers. Then next is begin. Declare decount integer. So we declare the decount as an integer. Then select count asterisk into decount. So we select the count function into the decount from the instructor, where the instructor to department name is equals to department name. So look carefully. So first of all, we create the function that is the department count that returns any of the integer value. So it begins with the declaring the decount integer. Then select the count asterisk. That means count each and every function into the decount from the instructor, where instructor to department name equals to department name. Then returns the dcount function. Then end for this or end for this function. So we illustrate some of the differences for the case of the Oracle. So see the respective system manual for the further details. Although parts of the system or syntax may not be supported by each and every system. That depends on the it is a platform dependent. It varies from the system to system. Describes the concept we describe are applicable across the implementation, but with a different syntax. So any doubt over any doubt in the function? Any doubt over here? Okay, so just listen. First of all, we create the function that is used by the create function, then any name of the function, then in the parenthesis there is a variable type, then there is a data type, right? Then it returns the integer value. So we give it returns integer. Then begin, declare decount integer. Now it is begin with over from here. So first of all there is the function name, then return, then begin from here, then declare decount integer, then select count asterisk into decount. Yeah, asterisk means each and everything. So select count asterisk into decount from instructor, where instructor or department name. So we are taking the instructor, that is the instructor or department name equals to department name. Yeah, we are taking the department name from the instructor table, that is equals to department name. Now the department name is stored in the instructor. Then returns the decount. Then there is a end. The next is declaring and invoking SQL functions in the procedure. So suppose that we want a function that given the name of a department returns the count of the number of the instructors in that department. So we can define the function, and this function can be used in a query that returns names, budgets of all the department with more than 12 instructors. So there are more than 12 instructors that is given. So this is a condition, and the condition is given by the where clause. So select department name, budget from instructor, where department count, where using the department count, department name that is greater than 12. And the SQL standard also supports the function that can return the tables as a result. Such functions are known as the table functions. Now suppose we consider the function that is defined in figure 5.6, and this function returns a table containing all the instructors of a particular department. Note that the function's parameter that is defined by prefixing with the name of the function that is the instructor of department name. And this function can be used in a query that is select asterisk from table instructor of finance. So this query returns all the instructor of the finance department only, because we are specifying that is the instructor of the finance. And in the above simple case, it is straightforward to write this query without using the table value parameter. But in general, we are using the parameterized view that denotes each and every function view by using the or by allowing the parameters. The next is create function instructor of. This is the name of the function instructors of. Then in parenthesis there is a department name. Then varchar 20. The department name is the name of the variable that is of data type varchar 20. Then returns table. It begins with the fields. One is the ID, that is also the varchar 5, the name varchar 20, department name varchar 20, and salary that is in the numeric part, that is maybe in the decimal part, but only 2 decimal part, because we are specifying there's a numeric, then 8 and 2. So first of all, we created the function that is the instructors of, the department name varchar 20, returns table ID varchar 5, name varchar 20, department name varchar 20, salary numeric 82, return table, select ID name department name salary from instructor, where department instructor dot department name equals to instructor of dot department name. Your first return table is used with declaring the variable fields. Then second return table is used for giving the or for fetching the query. That is ID, name, department name, salary from instructor, where instructor dot department name equals to instructor of dot department name. Now SQL also supports a procedure. So till now we have discussed about the functions. Any doubt anyone in the function? Okay, so next part is a procedure. The department count function could instead be written as a procedure. So this function, this example shows how the function will be written as a procedure. So create procedure department count proc in department name varchar 20 out t count integers. Then begin select count asterisk, that is select all, into the d count from instructors, where instructor or department name equals to department count proc or department name. There is end. So it starts with the begin, then it ends with the end. And the keywords in and out indicates respectively the parameter that are expected to have values assigned to them and the parameter whose values are set in the procedure in order to return the results. And procedures can be invoked either from SQL procedure or from the embedded SQL by using the call statement, that is declare dcount integer using the call, that is a department count procedure, physics and dcount. And the procedures and the functions can be invoked from the dynamic SQL either using the JDBC, either using the ODBC. Then the next point, important point, is that SQL also permits more than one procedure of the same name. But we cannot use a function of the same name. Yes, but we can use a procedure with the same name. But listen, yeah, there's a redundancy, I agree. But the data type and the variable name are different. That means the arguments are different. So more than one procedure with the same name can be used or permits by the SQL. But the number of arguments of the procedure with the same name is different. Now the procedure can be invoked either from a SQL procedure or from the embedded SQL. As I said, this is declare dcount integer and call the dcount proc physics and the dcount. And this also allows for more than one procedure of the same name, so as long as the number of the arguments with the same name is different. Now, what are the various languages, that is, or the language construct for the procedure and the function? That is, constructs is known as the PSM, that is a persistent storage module. One and the same thing, that is the variables are declared using the declare statement, and the compound statement is of the form begin and the end, and it may contains a multiple SQL statement. It is not that only single SQL statement is used, no, but we can use multiple SQL statement, that is in between the begin and the end, and the local variables can be declared within a corresponding statement, and the compound statement is of the form begin, atomic and end, that ensures all the statements are executed as a single transaction. But the main thing that you want to learn, that you have to learn basically, is a language that is used for the procedure and the function, that is known as a PSM, that is persistent storage module. This is while Boolean expression, then do sequence of statements, then end while, then repeat sequence of statements until Boolean expression and repeat. There is also a for loop that permits the iteration of an overall results of a query. That is declare an integer default for R as select budget from department where department name equals to music. and do set n equals to n in minus r dot budget, then ends. And the program fetches the query results one row at a time into the for loop variable. The statement leaves can be used to exit the loop, while the iterate start on the next tuple from the beginning of the loop, skipping the remaining statement. And the conditional statement supported by SQL includes if then else statement also. So if Boolean expression, then statement or the compound statement. Else if Boolean expression, then statement or the compound statement. Else statement or the compound statement. So this is if then else, and if. Next is create function, register student. This is the next example. So n SID, S course ID, section ID, semester, year. Just do one thing. Take 2 minutes, read out each and everything, and if there is any doubt, then please clarify the doubt, because the next topic is